from the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday joined the Department of Agrarian Reform or DAR to distribute certificates of Land Ownership Award or CLOAS to Agrarian Reform Beneficiaries or ARBs in Coron, Palawan Province. The distribution benefited 1,217 ARBs from the 1,234 e-titles issued and registered under the DAR support to parcelization of lands for individual titling or split project with an aggregate area of 2,921.96 hectares. An additional 53 CLOAS were also distributed, totaling 4,8277 hectares of land in Nara, Palawan, which is a resettlement area. The DAR sees the distribution as a breakthrough after all the challenges that hindered the acquisition and distribution of the Busuanga Pasture Reserve or BPR, a vast tract of agricultural land in the island municipalities of Coron and Busuanga. Now, these agricultural lands are finally being handed over to landless farmers, including 19 agricultural graduates and 50 rebel returnees. President Marcos Jr. and DAR Secretary Conrado Estrella III also turned over key farm-to-market roads or FMRs to respective proponents. These projects include San Nicolas to Sitio Canyogan FMR, Sitio Nalbot to Arado FMR, and Busuang to Karuray FMR. These FMRs are poised to improve connectivity between farming communities and local markets, directly enhancing the quality of life and economic activities of around 1,075 ARBs in the 1st Legislative District of Palawan. Let us now listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Kung gaano kalinaw ang inyong tubig at kaaliwalas ang kapaligiran sa inyong isla, ganun din kagaan at kaganda ang aking pakiramdam na makasama kayo ngayon rito. Isa ang lalawigan ng Palawan sa pinakamagandang lugar, hindi lamang sa ating bansa, kundi kinikilala rin sa buong mundo. Kayo po ay nabiyayaan ng mga magagandang tanawin tulad ng underground river sa Puerto Princesa at magagandang isla sa Coron, El Nido. Bukod pa rito ay nagkaroon din kayo ng mga likas na yamang angkop sa agrikultura. At ang yaman pong ito ay hangad nating mapalago ng umunlad ang sektor ng agrikultura dito sa region ninyo. Kasama po ang kagawaran ng reformang pansakahan na pinangungunahan ni Secretary Estrella. Ipinagkaloob natin ang Certificate of Land Ownership Award o ang tinatawag na CLOA at e-title sa ating mga masisipag na magsasaka. Ito po ay patunay na ang lupang inyong pinaghirapan ay sa wakas pag-aari naging pag-aari na ninyo yung lupang iyan. Sa araw na ito, higit sa 1,200 agrarian reform beneficiary ang makakatanggap ng inyong mga CLOA at e-title. Mabibigyan din natin ng CLOA ang mga kabataan na nagsipagtapos ng kursong pang-agrikultura. Nawa ay sa tulong nito. Alam niyo po, ang Agrarian Reform Program ay hindi lamang para magbigay ng titulo, para magbigay ng tinatawag na CLOA. ay kasama din po dyan ay yung mga matagal nang nag-aantay doon sa kanilang CLOA at inaalala yung amortisasyon, ay tinanggal na po natin yung utang na yun. Kaya yung mga matagal nang nag-aantay at nag-aalala doon sa pagbayad nila ng amortisasyon, ay hindi nyo na po kailangan alalahanin yun dahil binura na natin ang utang na yan. Pangalawa, ang Agrarian Reform Program ay hindi lamang sa pagbigay ng lupa, ngunit pagsuporta pa rin, pati. At kaya naman ay kasama po doon sa pagsulat, doon sa original na land reform program ay ang linagay pati na para paganahan po natin ang mga kabataan na pumasok po sa agrikultura. Dahil marami po sa kabataan ay hindi nauunawaan at hindi naiisip ang agrikultura, kaya't kung saan-saan ibang trabaho ang pumapasok. Ngunit kailangan natin ng mga magsasaka. Kaya't kasama po sa charter ng Agrarian Reform Program na lahat ng mga kabataan na dumaan at naging estudyante sa kurso ng agrikultura ay mabibigyan din ng lupa upang meron yung kanilang natutunan ay meron silang paglalagyan, meron silang magagamit na lupa para magamit naman nila ang kanilang bagong natutunan tungkol sa agrikultura. At ito po ay tuluyang suporta. Nawa sa tulong na ito ay mahikayat kayo na isagawa ang mga makabago at maunlad na pamamaraan na pagsasaka. Bilang pagtugon sa usaping pangkayapaan at maipakita natin na ang gobyerno ay iniisip ang inyong kapakanan at kinabukasan. Yes. Sorry na lang po, medyo tinamaan ako. Alam naman ninyo, dito sa pagpalit ng panahon, medyo naabutan. Kaya kung napansin ninyo, yung boses ko medyo ngungunang konti. At na may sipon at may ubo ako ng konti. Pero magsusuot po ako ng mask dahil ayokong na mahawaan ka kayong lahat. Ngunit kung may mahawa rito, si Secretary Estrella daw ang bahala sa pagpagamot sa inyo. Ito po ay ating ginagawa para sa inyong kapakanan at kinabukasan. Makakatanggap din po nito ang ating mga kabataan ng muling nakikiisa sa pamahalaan. Alam natin na ang tunay na kaunlaran ay hindi lamang nasusukat sa pagmamay-ari na lupa. Kaya't sabay ng pamamahagi ng CLOA at e-title, ipinagdiriwang din natin ang pagkakaloob ng mga farm-to-market road na magpapabilis at magpapagaan sa inyong trabaho. Ang mga bagong kalsada ay makakatulong upang mapalapit kayo sa mga mamimili at mapabuti ang inyong kabuhayan. Batid namin ang paghihirap ng ating mga magsasaka, lalo na ang mga nagtatanim sa malalayong lugar. Hindi lamang kumakain ng oras ang mahabang paglalakbay, kung hindi ay maaari ding magdulot ng karagdagang gastos. Ngayon, sa pamamagitan ng mga bagong farm-to-market road, Busuang to Karuray, FMR sa Rojas, Sitio Nalbot to Arado, FMR sa Taytay, at sa San Nicolas to Sitio Caniogan, FMR sa Barangay San Nicolas dito sa Coron, mas lalakas ang inyong kakayahang magdala ng mga produkto sa pamimilihan nang hindi kinakailangan mag-alala tungkol sa posibleng pagkasira ng inyong ani. Sa ganitong paraan, mas mabilis at madali nang maihahatid ang produkto sa mga mamimili at mas mataas ang pagkakataon na makamit ang maayos na kita. Ang lahat ng ginagawa natin ay naglalayong tiyakin na ang bawat metro ng lupa ay magsisilbing pundasyon ng isang mas maunlad at mas maliwalas na kinabukasan para sa ating mga magsasaka. Isang kinabukasan na puno ng katiyakan, seguridad at pagkakataong umunlad hindi lamang sa sakahan, kung hindi sa bawat aspeto ng inyong buhay. Alam po ninyo, ang proyektong ito ay sinimulan ng aking ama na kasama naman ang ang dating Secretary of Department of Agrarian Reform ay nangangalan ang lolo po ang pangalan po ng ating Secretary Conrad Estrello. Nung panahon po ng ama ko, yung secretary po, ang pangalan ay Secretary Conrado Estrella. The third na siya, yun po yung lolo niya. Kaya tinutuloy lang po namin ang trabaho ng aming mga ninuno. Kaya noong kami ay binigyan ninyo ng pagkakataon makapaglingkod. Nakapag-usap kami na marapat lang na aming ipagpatuloy ang nasimulan ng aming ama at ang lolo ng ating sekretary. Ito nga po ay aming ginagawa ay hindi nagtatapos sa pagbibigay ng lupa. Dahil nakita rin namin na isa sa mga iniinda ninyo ay ang mga utang. Yan, ito nga, ang naipaliwanag ko na nabanggit ko kanina sa pamamagitan ng Republic Act number 11953 o ang tinatawag na New Agrarian Emancipation Act, ang batas na nilagdaan ko noong Hulyo ng nakaraang taon. Mahigit 600,000 benepisyaryo ay kalas na sa bayarin. Ngunit, bago natin tapusin ang ating pagtitipon, nais kong ipaabot ang isang mahalagang mensahe. Kaakibat ng pagkakaloob nito ay ang aming hiling na gamitin ng wasto ang lupa para sa ikakataguyod na hindi lamang ninyo at ang inyong mga pamilya, ngunit para sa buong Pilipinas. Kaya sabay-sabay natin tahakin ang daan tungo sa isang bagong Pilipinas. Isang bansa kung saan ay bawat mamamayan ay may pagkakataon, may dignidad, may pag-asa para sa mas magandang kinabukasan. Binabati ko po kayong lahat sa tagumpay na ito. Mabuhay kayong mga magsasaka. Mabuhay ang magsasaka ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
And you just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news stories, veteran journalist Fernando Dindo Amparo Sanga on Wednesday formally took his oath of office before Philippine Presidential Communications Office or PCO Secretary Cesar Chavez as the new Director General of the Presidential Broadcast Service, Bureau of Broadcast Services or PBS-BBS. The oath-taking ceremony took place at the office of the Philippine Information Agency or PIA in Quezon City, where several officials of the PBS-BBS were present to witness the event. A turnover ceremony was also performed where outgoing Director General Rizal Giovanni Aportadera passed formally the operation and management of the Bureau, including around 30 radio stations across the Philippines, to the new Director General. Amparo is known for his vast experience as a journalist who also served as a reporter-announcer for PBS-BBS from 1989 to 1994. He also served as Radyo Patrol 26 of ABS-CBN, DZMM Teleradyo, and was a defense correspondent for ABS-CBN Integrated News and Current Affairs. DG Amparo also served as Director News Bureau Chief of ABS-CBN TFC Middle East from 2006 to 2010. Amparo is the 16th Director General of PBS-BBS.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA is currently reviewing a proposal to file a resolution at the United Nations General Assembly or UNGA regarding China's rising aggression in the West Philippine Sea or WPS. Nueva Ecija 2nd District Representative Joseph Gilbert Violago confirmed this during the plenary deliberation on the DFA's proposed 27.392 billion peso budget for 2025 at the House of Representatives. Violago, the agency's budget sponsor, said the decision to file a resolution would require careful consideration and must be subject to necessity and prudence. The lawmaker explained that the UN General Assembly typically focuses on human development issues, arguing that it might not be the proper venue for political debates such as territorial disputes. Congressman Violago highlighted that the DFA has been consistently raising the Philippines' territorial claims, including the 2016 Arbitral Award, in international forums and meetings. In the meantime, Violago assured that the DFA would continue its efforts to protect the Philippines' territorial integrity and national interest through diplomatic means.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Army on Wednesday announced that its Rizal-based 2nd Infantry Division has a new commander. In a statement, PA spokesperson Colonel Louis de Maala said Brigadier General Cirilo Balaoro Jr. took over the helm of unit during change of command rights presided over by Army Commander Lieutenant General Roy Galido at the division's headquarters at Camp Kapinpin, Tanay on Tuesday. Balaoro replaced Brigadier General Jose Augusto Villarreal, who served as acting commander following the retirement of then 2nd Infantry Division Chief Major General Roberto Capulong on September 13. De Maala said the continuity of leadership ensures a smooth transition and sustains the division's operational momentum. Brigadier General Balaoro is a member of the Philippine Military Academy or PMA, Sambisig class of 1991, and a former commander of the 202nd Unifier Infantry Brigade. Balaoro has been instrumental in maintaining operational momentum in the division's area of responsibility as the former, particularly in the Calabarzon region. Meanwhile, Galido urged Balaoro to sustain the 2nd Infantry Division's thrust of ensuring peace, security, and progress in southern Tagalog and the provinces of Occidental Mindoro, Oriental Mindoro, and Romblon, as well as further strengthen the unit's capabilities in pursuing peace and development campaigns.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, the Philippine Department of Justice or DOJ on Wednesday said non-bailable criminal charges for qualified trafficking have been filed before the Pasig Regional Trial Court or RTC against dismissed Bamban-Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo and 13 others. DOJ spokesperson Miko Clavano confirmed this to reporters, saying that besides Guo, cases have been filed also against Deputy Director General and representative of the Zun Yuan Technology, Dennis Cunanan, as well as 12 executives and founders of 3 companies and Guo's alleged business partners, has been filed in the RTC of Pasig City. Clavano explained that they filed the case before the Pasig RTC following a Supreme Court ruling granting the DOJ's request for the transfer of venue of cases involving Guo. The DOJ spokesperson said they are still monitoring developments in the Senate for any additional charges that may be filed against Guo. Meanwhile, Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission spokesperson Dr. Winston Casio said his office is looking forward to the arrest warrant to be issued by the Pasig RTC against Guo and her co-accused.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Department of Agriculture or DA Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. on Wednesday assured that there is a sufficient supply of food despite the effects of successive weather disturbances in the country. Tiu Laurel added that shortages of some commodities are just temporary considering challenges in logistics. The DA Secretary made the statement as the DA Disaster Risk Reduction and Management or DRRM Operations Center reported 51,728 metric tons of volume loss in agriculture worth 2.26 billion pesos on September 9th. The majority of the said damage was recorded in rice production, pegged at 1.11 billion pesos, followed by damage in irrigation facilities worth 1.08 billion pesos, corn production losses worth 42.66 million pesos, high-value crops at 26.66 million pesos, cassava at 1.98 million pesos, and 16,000 pesos worth of losses in livestock and poultry. The DA has yet to release its agricultural damage report concerning Tropical Storm Ferdy and Tropical Depression Hener. Earlier, it reported at least 23 billion pesos worth of agricultural damage due to the combined effects of the El Niño phenomenon, shear line, northeast monsoon, throw of a low-pressure area, Typhoon Aghon, Super Typhoon Karina, and the southwest monsoon. The DA chief, meanwhile, highlighted the country's increased national rice buffer stock under the National Food Authority or NFA. He said this is a significant increase from the stock on hand last December 2023, which could only last for a day or two. To date, he said, the NFA aims to secure at least a 15-day national buffer stock with more palay expected during the wet harvest season.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine Department of Migrant Workers or DMW Secretary Hans Leo J. Cakdak on Wednesday administered the oath of office of 130 newly appointed officers and personnel of the DMW at the DMW Central Office in Mandaluyong City. In his speech, Secretary Cakdak urged the newly sworn-in personnel to dedicate themselves to the service of every overseas Filipino worker or OFW and their families as a resonating contribution to the social and economic transformation of the country. The DMW Secretary also reminded the newly appointed personnel to uphold the highest standard and integrity in the government service. The hybrid ceremony was witnessed by senior DMW officials, wherein 71 newly appointed officers and personnel took their oath on site, while 59 joined the ceremony via an online platform from their respective regional and overseas posts.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 15.640 MHz, 17.820 MHz, and 12.010 MHz. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.